footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Memory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our 2012 NFL Draft Grade Special. We're looking at the San Diego Chargers, so now let's look back at their draft to see how well they did this past April.
Chargers came into this draft with a goal in mind to get better pass rushers. They were able to get two solid ones in Ingram and Reyes, but I like the fact that they were able to add two offensive linemen in Troutman and Moak later on in the draft. Now, what I like most about the Chargers draft, again, Melvin Ingram is a guy that's a defensive player that always has the football in his hands, and that's the type of defensive player that you want. Always cause chaos in opposing backfields for South Carolina. This guy has the athleticism to drop back in coverage, also has the athleticism to rush the passer, and that's what they needed out there in San Diego. You also look at getting a guy from my alma mater, fellow Raging Cajun Ladarius Green. This guy is raw. He has a lot of talent, has a lot of athletic ability, and a lot of upside. So the Chargers are getting a guy that they can groom behind Antonio Gates to be their tight end of the future. And I also like 7th round selection, Edwin Baker. The Chargers got themselves a back that's very talented, has the burst, has the hands, and also can excel as a blocker and pass protection. So they get a guy that I thought should have went earlier on in the draft. They got him in the 7th round. This is a huge value pick and will pay huge dividends for that Chargers running game. Now, what I didn't like about the Chargers draft, and this is rather nitpicky, but they didn't take a cornerback with any of their selections. I know they selected a strong safety, Brandon Taylor, out of LSU, but in this day and age of the NFL, you have to continue to add cornerbacks just like you would continue to add a quarterback each and every year to your roster. So getting additional help to help out Jammer and Kason and company. Yes, they drafted 2 guys last year, but you want to continue to add to that depth, and that's the only real thing I didn't like about the Chargers draft. 2 undrafted free agents that have an opportunity to surprise and possibly make the roster. I look at wide receiver Paul Cox out of Mississippi Valley State, 6'5", 205 pounds. He already fits the Chargers mold of getting tall, angular wide receivers. This guy has explosiveness, does a great job with body control, and knows how to high point the football. So this is an excellent opportunity for this young man to make the roster. And also Taylor Embry out of UCLA kind of fell off the radar a little bit this year, and he has the mold that he can either be a wide receiver, a big wide receiver, or that H-back type of guy. So this is a guy that has some versatility. Keep an eye on both of these guys to possibly make the Chargers roster. I give the Chargers a B+ for their draft. This was a team that came in with a mission. They wanted to get better pass rushers. They accomplished that by getting the best one in the draft in Melvin Ingram, getting an outstanding defensive tackle with Kendall Reyes out of UConn that's going to help come in and play that 5 technique, getting help on the offensive line, especially on the interior with Moak and Troutman. That's going to keep Phillip Rivers well protected. That's going to keep the running game on pace. I love what the Chargers were able to do in this draft, and there's a reason why this team is always in contention for the AFC West, and also always mentioned as a team that could possibly get to the Super Bowl. This year should be no different. I want to give a huge shout out to these Chargers fan sites for always showing Football Game Plan support.